Hi, Dad, if you're listening. Name and shame time.
Yes, Dad, named and shamed. It's like an ASMR. Morning!
Welcome to episode 4.
Yes. May the 4th be with you.
I wish. Then I could, have an excuse to watch Star Wars all day.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I would take that as a annual, day off.
Yes.
It's my people's holiday. It's
Exactly.
like a religious holiday.
I'm a Jedi, you can do that.
I know, there's what is it? In the UK census, there was something 12% of people said they were a Jedi or something ridiculous.
I was so close. So close. And
I didn't fill my census out. It was my fam.
Oh, I had to do it because my mum couldn't be bothered doing mine out. And I was like, you know what? I get that. But that reminds me of putting nonsensical answers in things. I was taking my higher chemistry exam.
Okay.
And this was the first time I was taking it, so there was a big fail. And I just couldn't do it. And there was this one question, and we got open-ended questions, so we had to we just got a bunch of information, and then we had to explain why. But there was no chemistry terms really in the think text. By the way, I just woke up, so my thoughts are there's tangents don't make sense. And I just went I just left it because I had no idea what it was, and I went back to it, and I was like, well, I don't want to leave a blank space. Because I managed to put something for all the other blacks. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, and I just put magic. So I hope at least the examiner laughed.
Yeah, that's
the marker.
Yeah, just sitting there, it's if I'm gonna fail, at least I'll fail with style.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Sorry, headphone users.
Yeah, it's gonna reach a pitch that only dogs can hear.
I'm down for that.
Doing a podcast entirely for dogs.
Yes.
That we just speak in pitches that humans can't understand.
To be fair, that would just only piss them off.
It'd
that's
be hilarious.
The only thing that would happen.
Yeah, you could just press play and the dog would just be sitting there for an hour, just angry.
So you, as a dog.
I love that photo. So yeah, I don't. What's the? It was the Vine where it's the dog sitting on the bed with her. Is it?
Yes. And then it just turns and it just starts screeching, but then it cuts off. And it's so perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
That's you as a dog.
Yeah. My internal dog.
It's
my external dog is a Labrador.
Oh, yes. 100%.
And then my internal dog is screeching. Or a fox laughing. You know that noise they make?
Yep.
How many fox laughing videos have you watched?
Too many. I love them. I want a fox so bad.
They're not domesticated animals, Paulina.
I know, but you can save them from animal farms.
Yeah, but then they probably should go be released back to the wild.
They can't really. That's the whole thing. Because they've been basically domesticated. But no, they were just on a farm, so they don't actually know how to survive in the wild.
Okay,
if it's baby foxes, yes.
In specific instances,
yeah,
I agree, but
otherwise,
you never know.
Yeah, they shouldn't be kept.
It's one of my goals.
Same with hedgehogs.
Yeah, one of my friends, Facebook friends, has a hedgehog.
My friend had a hedgehog, Bramble. She fucking hated me. It was really funny.
Maybe it's because you kept trying to release her back to the wild, and she was like, "No, I'm comfortable."
I totally did not. I was I was there for the hedgehog. I was like, oh my god, look at its wee feet, and she would always huff at me. She would make that noise, and then I'm good at impersonating animals. What can I say? It's my hidden talent. And then she would put her spikes up, and I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry.
I will leave you be. Please do not harm me.
Yes,
but yeah, it's my where I used to work had a deer actually.
Oh my god.
A rescue deer, because its mum was killed, and her family ran a little farm in the not RSPB, that's the bird one, the RSPCA, or SSPCA because we're in Scotland.
SSPCA.
they were like, you know how to look after these sort of things, so like, and you've got plenty of land, so it's better to have it here than, because all our centres are really made for like smaller animals and pets and all these things. So yeah, they looked after it, and then they were closing in the farm and they were giving things away, and so she had him. It's called Bramble.
Oh.
And he was really cute because he would always go out and feed, and like, he was addicted to green beans, which I feel like is so
real
specific.
Life addicted to green beans.
Like, you go, like, we'd give them to the kids and they would obviously love it, because he would be like, food, and they were like, oh my god, he loves me so much. It's like,
no.
I mean, maybe, but like, but it was always great as well, because whenever you were going out at the end of the night, like putting stuff in the bins or whatever, he would always just like stand right at the edge of the fence and look at you like, you coming over here? You coming over here?
That's really cute.
You coming over?
It's and like then dog hedgehog.
Kind of, yeah. And then you
hedge dog. I'll leave.
Think about leave right now.
Yes, please continue with that thought.
But yeah, and then you'd go over and you'd like pet him, and he was like, and now do you have any food?
My gran had a lot of weird animals, because my granddad was a gameskeeper. Mm-hmm. So obviously, him being the animal lover that he was, would, like, if there was anything that was hurt or anything that was without a mom, it would end up in the house. By house, I mean flat on the 3rd floor in the city of Łódź, which is the 3rd biggest city in Poland. So there was really weird stuff. Like, they had, I don't know the actual name for it, but a little hog, like the wild boar. Boar.
They had a boar?
They had a boar. A baby boar.
Baby boar.
Baby boar. And he would just run about. He was really cute. But then he got stolen.
Oh.
Yeah. Because he became like almost a mascot. Well, not almost. He became the mascot for the gameskeeper like team that my granddad was a part of. Because like, when he was little, he was in the flat, and then they put him to a bigger place.
Yeah.
But then he got stolen.
That's really sad.
It is really sad. She also had a squirrel that my granddad found with a broken leg.
Aww.
So my gran would nurse things back to health. Like, the amount of birds that she had, because me and my dick-ass friends would find a bird that was hurt and bring it to my granny, and we're like, please help it. She was like, fine. It was really funny.
But I bet she was glad that you were bringing her these birds. Part of her was like, extra work, but other part was like, but now I get to save it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have, because I didn't know it was hurt.
Exactly. We found a parrot once.
Oh.
It was somebody's budgie that must have, like, flew away.
I was going to say, that probably definitely someone's pet.
Yeah, we did put, like, my friend took it in that time, because she had a bird cage anyway. So she took it in, and we put, like, not missing posters, but like found and stuff like that. But nobody came to claim it, so it was just hers.
It could have gone quite far.
It could have gone quite far, but we were only kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, and at the end of the day, if you're looking after it, you know, you can't be expected to like, it's not like a dog with a microchip where at that point you're like, you're just trying not to give it back to the owner.
There was also a dog that we found, Odie.
So lots of stray dogs in Europe, though, in comparison to here.
Yeah, like continental Europe, there's so many strays. The shelters are filled to the brim, and it's really sad.
It's really interesting, because it's just like a matter of like social perspective, I guess, because here we are really conscious about, you know, reducing how many unwanted pets there are, and how many, like, not overbreeding, basically, and creating all these puppies that then nobody wants.
Yeah, no, that's a big issue in Poland. Like, all of continental Europe, really.
You know, the fact that if you ever adopt a pet from the SSPCA, you have to get it neutered.
Yeah.
Because that's something that they're trying to reduce, obviously, is like dogs just going out and banging.
Yeah, no, that happens in shelters in Poland. Like, your pet will be spayed or neutered, which is good.
Yeah, because that's what does it. Especially with like cats, because cats just go do their own thing. If you have a male cat that's not neutered, you have no idea how many children it probably has.
You don't know how many like cats you should be paying for child support.
Yes,
like, yeah, definitely. My cat, she wasn't like spayed or neutered, but because we found her again, she was a homeless kitty. Because there was a couple of homeless cats that used to live where my granny lived, and my granny being my gran, she wanted to take them all in basically, but she already had a cat, and he was having none of that. So she would always have food and water outside of her house this time. And there was this one kitty that we seen, and she was gorgeous, but she was the most untrusting one. So we grabbed her and we took her home.
You kidnapped her.
We basically kidnapped the cat. But it's fine. She warmed up to us quite quickly. Me the least, because I was still a kid. She did not like kids.
So you were annoying.
Yeah, I was so fucking annoying to her. But then I calmed down and I was the favorite. She would come and sleep whenever I went. I just sat on my bed and she'd be on my bed waiting for cuddles. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know what? Unintentionally, we have perfectly led ourselves onto our main section today, which is fun / weird / unknown / possibly not true because we're getting them from dodgy sites. Science facts.
Hell yeah. More like nature facts.
Yeah. So,
nature facts.
Yeah, I looked up some animal facts and Polina looked up some fruit facts.
Yes.
Facts.
Fruit facts.
But I want to start this off with an animal fact that I already knew.
Yes.
So, you know how in human eyes, the average person has 3 or 4, I think it's cones or rods, I can't remember which, but I think it's cones, to perceive colour.
Yeah.
And
cones.
Cones, yes. So yeah, women are more likely to have 4 than men are likely to have 4. Kind of comes from the same thing of how men are more likely to be colorblind. It's the same, but if you're colorblind, it's because you only have 2. So think about the difference in color between 2 and 3. There. The mantis shrimp has 16 cones.
What?
It can see ultraviolet light.
That would be so cool. No, I want to be a mantis shrimp. No, imagine how fucking awesome the world would be seeing all of that color.
But it would be different. It wouldn't be a color that we already know. You perceive it differently.
Yeah, I know. But there's a lady somewhere in the universe, in the world. I've seen a documentary about it, and she has I don't know if she has an extra cone or something, but she can see more color. It's so she can see different things as she paints. So she will paint pictures, and to us they look crazy because we don't see those colors, but that is the colors that she sees, and it's not like that. There's something wrong in the brain. It's that is fact. She can see more color than we do,
which is so mind-boggling because you can't even imagine the color that you can't see.
No, yes, because we just can't. We're incapable of doing that,
and you can't see through someone else's eyes.
Chartreuse is pink. I had to. We're speaking about color. It is.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But and it kind of blows my mind and yeah, so more color facts because I know a few color facts.
Yes.
So yeah, the reason that men and women a woman will go which dress should I wear, and they're slightly the same, or which lipstick should I wear, and they're almost the same color but they're not quite, and the man stereotypically will go, oh, they're the same color.
I have a funny story about that later, I guess.
But that's because men often have less cones, so therefore they can't see that difference in color, whereas a woman can.
But then there's people like my father. Hi, Dad, if you're listening. Name and shame time.
Yes, Dad, named and shamed.
My dad's name is Oh, honey, you okay? I'm not awake yet.
I'm just too witty for your asleep brain.
So funny. Yes. And my dad was downstairs. My mum was going upstairs, and my dad was like, "Could you get me the burgundy jumper that I have?" My mum was like, "Yeah, sure." Went downstairs, gave him indeed the burgundy jumper that he has, and went, "That's not it." My mum was like, "What do you mean? You only have one burgundy jumper." She's like, "Do you mean the bright red one?" He was like, "No, that's not burgundy." And my mum just looked at him. And she knew what was coming. So she just sat down on the couch and she was like, "Okay, honey, why don't you go fetch your burgundy jumper then? My dad was like, in a huff, he's like, fine, Jesus, like, I asked you to one thing. Goes upstairs, finds the jumper that he was on about, comes downstairs, and shows us the burgundy jumper that is actually beige. Now, me and Mom lose our shit.
Obviously.
Because it's so funny.
Yeah.
And then my dad gets annoyed. It's really funny. But when my dad gets annoyed, we always just pick at each other in our house. Like, that's just how we operate. Mm-hmm. So at first, the person who's getting picked on gets angry, and then they laugh as well, because it's really funny.
Yeah.
So it's not like we bully our dad. Our dad. My dad was, no.
Polina's about to reveal some deep, dark secrets from her family.
Oh my god. No, I promise I'm not. I'm just tired, y'all. My brain isn't here yet. Like, my mouth just has to do the talking.
It's funny as well, because she's an only child, so she's not even used to saying that to, like, a sibling. Maybe she's used to saying it to her pets.
Yes, you know what, that's what it is. I'm not even joking. That's our dad, as in my dogs.
There you go.
And our mom.
Mm-hmm.
And they're my brothers. That happens. Like, that's how I think of my dogs. Is that weird? Probably. But, like...
No, I feel like dogs, like, not necessarily always, like, as siblings. Sometimes they're, like, your children.
Yes.
Or, like, sometimes they're, like, your uncles. But, like, they're always family members somehow.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
But, yeah. Other color fact.
And
it's kind of similar. Like, so, have you ever been in, like, one of the most heated arguments ever about whether something is blue or green?
Yeah.
Or pink or purple or red or...
Uh-huh. Yeah, blue or green.
This comes from... So, when you are growing up, your brain makes...
I'm okay now. Like, I'm already not okay with this.
Your brain makes decisions about color. So someone will point to something and say that's orange. So your brain starts... So, because color's on a spectrum.
Yes.
So your brain starts making decisions about where the lines in the spectrum are that differentiate color.
Uh-huh.
And for every single person, that's different. So for us, we have, the 7 primary colors.
Yeah.
But, so we kind of, most of our brain, like, the way it divides color, kind of gets divided into those colors that we know that we have a name for, like orange, purple, pink, red, all of those colors that we have names for. Our brain divides the spectrum of visible light into each of these boxes, and then, so, like, someone will be like, that's red, and you're like, no, that's pink. And that argument is because you guys have different lines. And some people's lines will seem someone will go, that's green, and you're like, do you know what, it's not even, like, turquoise to me. That is the bluest of blue. Like, I can't even see how you can think that's green. And that's just because your brain's made that decision. There are some cultures that don't have as many names for color as us. So there's some cultures out there that have 4 colors.
What?
And then they will only see 4 different colors. So, like, blue and green will be the same. Like, count as the same color.
Oh, no.
So they will still see it as the same. They'll still see the variation, but it will be counted as the same color.
That's the same color. That's wrong.
So if you sit there and you go, that's blue and that's green.
Yeah. That's really funny, yeah?
Yeah, because I'm actually gesturing something that's blue and something that's green.
Yeah.
They will be like, no, they're both blue. Like, I can see that they're different colors, but they are both blue.
Yeah. Okay. No. There's a color wheel for a reason. Every shade has a name. Like, I understand this is me being really disrespectful to other cultures.
It's more, I don't know why, but, like, that's...
Yeah, that's a thing. But it's like, no. Like, I've had arguments with people. Sophie, a lot, I think, about color. Because there was this one, and it was green, okay? It was the kind of deep sea green, so it's like a verge of blue and green, but it was definitely green, not blue, because of the hue. Like, that's genuinely how you see color, right? Which hue's more prominent? Yeah. And you pick the fucking color that it is. It was green. And she was like, no, that's blue. I was like, okay, you're wrong. Like,
but she's not.
No, she is. That doesn't matter. She's totally wrong.
But how do you know that it's not because your brain's making that decision?
Because it's green. I understand what you're trying to say, but it's fucking green. Like,
no, but I mean, like, that's what it's saying. Like, you're seeing it as green because your brain's made that decision.
I hate that fact. That fact has got me all kinds of stressed out.
there's so many, like, this is all from 1 year of doing psychology at university. There's so many interesting things about the way your brain works. Like, how, like, distance, how you judge distance.
Yeah.
Is based off when you were a kid and you were going around touching things and you're going, that's that far away, and that's that far away. Which is why optical illusions work.
Yeah.
Because your brain has to look at something and look at the way that the shadows are and make a judge of how far away it is, and therefore that's how, So that's optical illusions are, like, take advantage of, like, so your brain makes a lot of guesses.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that.
So that's what optical illusions take advantage of, is, like, your brain making guesses. And yeah, like, you know how you actually see everything upside down and your brain flips it.
Flips it again.
Do you know that out of the corner of your eye,
Mm-hmm.
you see in black and white? But your brain, because your eyes move all the time, it fills in the colour. Like, your peripherals are in black and white. Because the like,
insane.
the colour, the, like, can't be perceived.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Huh.
But because your eyes are constantly moving and your brain makes guesses, because it would be weird to just see, like, a fade colour. But, like, white. You can, if you...
I'm trying to see if I can see in black and white now. This is really weird.
There's a point where, like, your hand is in black and white, but, like, by trying to look at it, you look at it enough to see the colour.
Yeah. That's really weird. I don't like that. On to my fruit fact. Swiftly moving on. Did you know that some people don't consider figs, or let me just double check if it's a type of fig. No, figs. Because... no, I didn't finish that thought. Because, did you know?
Some people don't consider figs.
Because some vegans don't consider figs a vegan food because they digest wasps. Now, so when they're a flower, and...
Good guy figs, man.
Good guy figs. They're not good guy figs at all. They, like, when they're a flower, like, the way that they're shaped, there's a lot of carnivorous plants that do that. Like, they have the little bell shape.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes a wasp will fall into the fig. And that triggers it to, like, put its digestive juices in. And eats the wasp. So, technically, it's not vegan. I guess. Because there's still, like, wasp.
Because it's, like, alive enough to consume something.
Well, yeah.
I guess.
And also because there's parts of a living thing technically.
I mean, it's kind of gross to think that there's, like, wasps in your fig, but also, like, I really don't like wasps, so, like...
Yeah, I'm totally fine with, like, murderous figs.
I feel like wasps are one of those animals that, like... So animals have their, like... Purpose and their place in, like, a hierarchy. And, like, sometimes that purpose is literally just, like, hey... I'm here to eat this. Like, spiders, as much as I don't like them, they eat flies. If there was no spiders, there would be so many flies.
Yes, and same with frogs. Some people don't like frogs, but if there was no frogs, there'd be a shit ton of spiders everywhere. Ecosystems are fragile.
And bees.
Bees?
The like, cousins, or, like, distant cousins of the wasps. All bees. Anything that has the word bee. Honeybee. Bumblebee.
I love bumblebees.
Bumblebees are so adorable.
They're the best bees, because they're so fucking lazy. Like, the amount of times I just see them, not even flying, they fucking walk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, me.
Though apparently if you see a bee walking on the ground, it's because it's not got enough.
Oh, is that when you have to feed them?
Feed them, like, sugar water.
Mm-hmm. I'll keep that in mind.
Just keep, like, sugar water on you at all times.
I think I did do that.
But yeah, so, yeah, they pollinate the world. Like, if there was no bees, we would all be dead.
Yeah, people don't actually, like, this has become a meme, but some people don't realize that
it's legit.
It's legit. Like, if there's no bees, we're fucked. And, like, if you want to look at it in a very selfish perspective, we're all fucked.
I mean, there's other pollinators out there, but, like,
not enough.
It's, like, something ridiculous.
Slack.
And this is me making up a statistic, but I know that it is, like, close to this, of, like, 80% of it is done by bees, and then the other pollinators are, like, the other 20%. So basically, there would not be able to be sustained.
No, it wouldn't.
And so, yeah. But wasps don't pollinate.
Yeah, you know what? There's wasps, hornets, ticks, lice. What the fuck do those four cunts do? Nothing.
Ticks don't even, like...
They just sit there dormant, and as soon... That's actually... Animal fact. That, takes, like, don't see anyone coming, and they're like, woo, let's go. No, they sit at the edge of leaves, and they sit dormant. And when they feel CO2, like a waft of CO2 come their way, they launch themselves off of the leaf and hope to attach to something.
So sometimes they die.
I fucking hope so. No, they just fall and they just climb back up. But, like, I know.
See, I wish they were like... So you know how there's 2 types of parasites?
Mm-hmm.
There's parasites that can survive without a host, and there's parasites that need a host.
Yeah.
I wish they were the type that needed a host.
Yeah.
Because parasites that can survive without a host are the worst.
Mm-hmm. Parasites are fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, full stop. Like, the fungus, because, like, fungus is a parasite.
Yeah.
So you could think of it like that.
Is this the one with the ants?
Yes.
How cool. It's so cool, though.
It's fucking horrendous. I hate it. Like, no, because I have an issue with, we had this conversation. I have an issue with throwing, like, just thinking about that makes me kind of squeam.
Should we maybe explain what the fungus is?
Yes, sorry. Yeah, the fungus infects the ant, and, like, ants. And it basically, like, wraps itself around the ant brain. So the ant is conscious, okay? It can see what's going on, but it has zero control over its body. And the fungus then controls the ant to find the highest point it can, I'm pretty sure, to then sprout out of its head to grow on and do its fungus things while the ant is technically still alive.
And then release its spores. So it's basically zombie ants because
It
the
is.
fungus controls the ant's brain.
Yeah. It's horrendous. One, I feel so bad for the ants.
I know, per ant.
Like, the fact that it's aware of everything that's going on whilst this is happening. Like, it's horrendous. Anyway, yes. So I have an issue of things growing out of things that shouldn't be grown out of. Especially
plants.
Like, fungus.
Yeah.
Plants. It's fucking gross. Like, out of a body, like, no. No. So, that's why that fact freaks me the fuck out. Because technically... And that kind of ties in with The Last of Us as well. Game.
Oh, does it?
Oh, not really a spoiler.
Well, I kind of knew that they I figured words. I'd heard that a game had done that.
Yeah.
That had used that
Yeah.
fungus and put it onto, like, basically that
It's The Last
it's
of
evolved
Us.
into but that's plausible.
Exactly. That's why I fucking hate it. It is plausible.
That the fungus. I mean, it's millennia away.
Oh yeah.
Like the fungus could evolve.
But evolution does its thing.
But it makes me. You would have. For that to happen, the right evolutionary pressures would have to be placed on the fungus.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would have to happen is the ants would have to develop to not allow the fungus to do that to them, and then the fungus would develop, or maybe it would probably either it would develop to then continue to work on the ant, or it would develop to work on something else.
Yeah. I mean, we're far away from that chain, but yes.
Yeah. So, like, it genuinely is millennia.
Yeah.
But
it still
it's
could
plausible.
happen. Yeah.
Or, like, if a nuclear explosion happened.
Yeah. Fuck us. I mean, we're fucked anyway. But, like...
Yeah.
Our kids will probably have, like, arms growing out of their face.
Why?
Because, like, if there was a nuclear explosion, like, radiation, it doesn't affect you. You will probably die.
Yeah.
But if
or
you
might give you cancer.
Yeah, it might give you cancer. But if you reproduce by then, it'll be the mutations in the next generation that come through.
Because that's where you're creating new cells.
Yes.
You're creating new cells when you...
Yeah,
create baby.
Yes, that's where the actual mutations will be prominent, and the phenotype.
It's why when you have sex with your relatives, it's why your kids will be fucked up, not you.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're just messing a whole bunch of things up. Yeah.
So I find I'll go for another animal fact now, and I'm going to go for one that I found on this website. I cannot promise that it is correct because it's a website, but there were some really cool ones. Okay, this one. The fingerprints of a koala are so indistinguishable from humans that they have, on occasion, been confused at a crime scene. Like a koala can murder someone and you get blamed for it.
That's amazing.
Or they think there's a human being there.
Yeah.
Also,
really funny.
Fingerprints aren't as unique as you think.
Really?
There's like 5 people in the world who have the same fingerprint as you.
Oh, that's really bizarre.
So it means that you could commit a crime and one of them gets blamed for it if you were in the US, for example.
But does that... Question here. So 5 people have the same fingerprint as you. But is that on one singular finger? Because that's why they take all 5. And they look at them like that.
I'm pretty... But like, if
But
there's a partial...
one, or a partial, then yeah. Because my fingerprints are pretty cool. Like, all of them are the same. Like, you know how you have, like, 3, like, ways they could go? It's either the foldy wavy one. There's a spiral, or there's another one. And
I think mine are all foldy wavy.
Mine are all foldy wavy, apart from my ring finger on my left hand, which is spiral. How cool is that? Like, all of them, apart from that one. So this is a very special finger. And I'm pretty sure that's when the wedding ring is supposed to go. Yes, on the left arm? Mm-hmm.
Left arm, yes. You're meant to put your wedding ring on your left arm.
Yeah. It's the whole arm.
Just like one entire ring.
Yeah. But yeah, so that one's different. And it's really cute.
That is very intriguing.
That's a cool fact about me. I need to stop clicking. I've been doing this all episode. That's a you thing.
Oh,
finger guns. That is a Rachel thing, right?
It's like one of the lamest things ever.
It's so funny. It's that one time we were out in Glasgow, actually it was, and I'm pretty sure it was Glasgow, and we discovered how cheap the drinks where we were, and I was like, that's great, and you just turned to me, dead serious, and you just went, finger guns, and I was like, come again? Like, did you actually just do that? So it was just funny, because you kept doing that the whole night.
It's one of those things that I started doing ironically,
and now it's
now it's part of my personality.
Me saying yeet all the time. It's a fucking issue.
Yeah, literally.
Or fake news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost any of these things that are lame about me I promise are not actually me. They're things that I started doing as a joke. And
yes.
Can we get like a help page for that, please? Like for people.
We should, yeah. Fact.
Oh.
And like, I am fucked by this fact, because now when I'm at work, whenever I see this, like, I freak a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Every single Granny Smith apple out there is a clone of one apple. Every fucking single apple.
But like, if they're clones, surely they're like really oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? They're really likely to get disease. Like, one disease would wipe them all out.
Yeah, one disease would wipe them all out. But there's one tree, and there's like, I'm pretty sure it's, let me double check if it's one apple or no, a single apple tree. Apologies. So all of the apples come from one single tree in Australia, and they do the splicing thing.
Yeah,
to do that. So now when I see a Granny Smith apple, I'm like, those are just clones, like, in one, basically. It's insane.
Yeah,
it is absolutely insane to think that. And also, that is because apple trees aren't really great. Like, apple seeds, like, yeah, they'll make a tree, probably, but they don't really produce a lot of apples, and sometimes they just won't produce any apples, so they can't, like, just plant a bunch of trees, because if there's one year that none of them decide to do anything, we will not have Granny Smith apples.
It's also, like, apple trees are, like, harder to pollinate than a lot of other things. Like, they need to go to a couple of apple trees or something. It's like a certain number of apple trees. Pollen needs to go to one apple. It's something really, like, convoluted, like some sort of stupid side quest.
Yeah, exactly. Also, pineapples, I hate this, are not actually a fruit, but a group of berries fused together around a stalk.
No.
So it's not just one big thing. It's,
I mean, it does kind of look like that if you think about it, but also
gross, right?
It'd be the same way if someone said a raspberry is a bunch of berries, because it's like a bunch of bits.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm trying to think if there's a... Oh, and there's this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oranges don't exist in the wild. We made oranges because it's a cross between a pomelo and mandarins.
Oh.
So we made oranges.
Oh. Fruit fact.
Mm-hmm.
Bananas.
Yes.
So, banana-flavored sweets don't taste like bananas.
Yeah.
But what they do taste like is another subspecies of banana that we ate to extinction. How messed up is that?
Well, dodos. We
didn't eat dodos to extinction.
We hunted them to extinction.
Did we hunt them? I thought
we hunted dodos to extinction.
Oops.
Check yourself, because like they were on an was it the Galapagos Islands they were on? I want to say that,
Maybe.
but I might be completely wrong. Maybe that or New Zealand.
Galapagos is making me think of, that's the finches.
Finches.
That's Darwin's finches.
Yeah.
Proof of evolution.
Oh, yeah. So maybe not. Maybe New Zealand. Anyway, they were on an island, and there was no natural predators for them in that area, so they were very friendly. So when humans came to that island, they realized that this big fat bird isn't running away. So we hunted them all to extinction.
We're dicks, man.
We're fucking assholes. Okay, no, there was a statistic, and I'm gonna get it wrong, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It was like by something insane. Like, if we keep going on like this, by like 2050 or something like that, like half of the species in the world will be extinct.
Yeah, no, I've heard something similar to that.
It's like insane.
It's because of deforestation. Because
well,
like so many of the world's species exist in these rainforests. Like they are super highly concentrated, and it's actually where they're discovering lots of new animals as well. But because we're deforesting all these rainforests, that's like killing off so many animals,
and it's really sad. And like a lot of people don't understand that a lot of species will be bugs or like little tiny little things.
Yeah, so it's not like, you know, we're killing thousands and thousands of different species of like big cats,
which is why people don't care as much, which is a shame because it's still a living thing.
But also, like even if you don't care, even if you care about like the bigger animals, it's like getting rid of the bugs. It's like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, you fuck with an ecosystem and it will collapse. Like, they're fragile things.
In Scotland, there used to be wild wolves, and they got rid of them all because they were inconvenient.
Yeah,
and now the deer population is at the point where they have to do yearly culls, which is basically where they just go out and kill a bunch of deer.
Yeah,
like
it's insane. Yeah, and like. Well, that's actually really funny. You guys are pussies. We have wolves back in Poland. It's great.
But it's one of those things, the reason... Okay, and they're wanting to reintroduce them, but there's this thing in law... No. They've been talking about it for ages. Or releasing, like, a type of wild cat. I can't remember what it is. Like a bigger cat. But the problem is that there's this thing in Scotland called the right to roam, which is where legally... you can walk onto anybody's land and you can walk anywhere. Yeah. Like trespassing on land isn't really a thing in Scotland. Yeah. I'm assuming there are some exceptions to it. Like,
and I'm guessing if there is a sign that says, like, don't walk, just don't be a cunt.
And like, you know, but it's all these hill walkers who are like, oh, but if we release wolves, then we're going to have, like, tough time walking in the woods. It's like, okay, a wolf is not going to go for you unless it's starving. Yeah. And these wolves ain't going to be starving because there's an overpopulation of deer.
And also, just fucking man up. Like, you will be okay. It's an animal that lives there. Like, just don't fucking be stupid. And if you see a wolf, don't go and pet it. Like,
yes.
Also, if you do see one staring right at you,
there's like 5 behind you.
Yeah, so you're fucked anyway. So you might as well be like, well, at least get eaten by a wolf. How cool is that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What a way to go.
Because there's a funny story with this as well. Wolf stories. It was just my parents. I think I might have been there too, but like I was so tiny that I can't remember shit. But they were in Zakopane in Poland. I was down south, bunch of mountains, bunch of like all that lovely stuff, and we have a lot of wildlife like in Poland. And we have wolves. Ow. I bit my tongue. And the guy that was like a native there, he was just like telling my parents that like, you know, just to be careful because there is wolves in the forest. So like, if you hear anything, get the fuck inside. Just like leave them be. My parents are like, yeah, okay, cool. And like my dad was chopping up some wood or something, or like he was walking near the forest or in the forest, and he just heard a howl, and like he's seen with the corner of his eye like a wolf, so he fucking sprinted to the house. That's my funny story.
It makes me interested because you know how like some animals, it's like running away is the bad thing to do because like you should walk away or you should make eye contact. Like I don't know what like wolves, because like tigers. Tigers don't like eye contact. They're like scared of eye contact. So that's why like
that's cool.
Tribes that live in areas that have tigers, they're the ones that have like those big masks they wear in the back of their head that have like big eyes painted on them because
they don't like.
It's a way of maintaining eye contact when you're not even looking.
That's really smart. I don't know. With bears, you have to run down a hill. Up and down hills. They have tiny little legs. Like, they have quite short legs. It tires them out. Like, it tires them out. And they also, like, there's a chance they will stumble. And they will be slower going down the slope not to stumble. So, like, that is the thing to do. You just fucking sprint downhill.
Mm-hmm. Or to be faster than the other guy.
Yeah, that. Trip him up.
Well, it's like, what used to be like, play dead was one for a bear. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that would work.
I don't know. I think, like, I don't know.
Though it reminds me of this, like, it was this comic strip I saw of this guy. And, like, they're like, they're, like, at a camp. And they're like, oh my god, bear! So they, like, all run away. And this guy's like, he's like, oh no, you're meant to play dead. So he goes up to the bear and he's like, bear, I am dying. Please tell my wife and my children that I love them. And then, like, does the most dramatic death. And the bear's, like, holding him, like, with a tear in his eye.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. I don't know, because I've seen a documentary again. Like, it was, like, near-death experience-y kind of documentary, like, with wildlife. And there's a guy, and there was a bear in his camp, and it was a grizzly bear. And this was just before hibernation. So I'm like, because they like to eat a lot. And, to be fair, yeah, I think it should have been hibernated by now.
But it was just
lazy. Yeah, it was still not asleep. So, like, he played dead, and I'm pretty sure, like, that did not end well with his leg being kind of mauled.
Well, was there not that story of that guy who was, like, filming a nature documentary or something about bears?
Yeah, and he like, died?
He got eaten, like, on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely happened, because I remember that as well.
I can't remember, like, the specifics
on Mandela effect.
Yeah.
And that just never fucking happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what really scares me? Elk and moose.
Why?
Because they're fucking huge. And they're super territorial. Like, they're so territorial. And they will, like, stomp a bitch if they see you in their place. Like, their legs are literally the size of me, if not longer. Like, how fucking terrifying is that?
Okay.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And apparently, I'm going back to Poland soon, see my fam. Fam-a-lam-a-lam. And they live, like, ooh, microphone. They live, like, basically in the middle of nowhere. It's a tiny village that has, like, 20 people in it. 20 residents. But, yeah, there's a lot of land and a lot of forest. And apparently, my dad heard, or from someone, that moose and elk sometimes, like, I think it's elk that we have, not moose, because moose is huge. But, like, yeah, elk is still big. They don't live there, but they sometimes wander through. So I'm like, great. We not only have, like, boars, which you can see the tracks. Yeah, and they're not good. We also have elk now. So I'm not looking forward to that.
You're just never going outside.
I'm going to be outside all the time. But, like, I'm going to be stressed out all the time.
The sacrifices you make.
Of course. Yeah.
I found this other fun fact, which is not as fun. Nearly 3% of the ice in the Antarctic glaciers is penguin urine.
That's really funny.
It's like,
well, like, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, water they drink probably at one point was dinosaur piss because of the water cycles.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, water we drink.
Well, yeah.
That hurts my brain.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
Because, like, yeah, like, things can't be...
They can't just disappear.
Well, yeah, like, so, energy can't be created or destroyed. Yeah. There is exactly the same amount of energy in the universe at every single given moment. Which means that, yeah, like, and it's the same with elements, like, hydrogen, you can't, like, just get rid of hydrogen.
Yeah.
So, like, while it might not always be water...
Mm-hmm. It will always be there.
Yeah. And it's like, so, we are all made of stardust.
Yes. Oh my god, don't.
Because, yeah, every element is created by stars. So hydrogen and helium are constantly created by a burning star. So like the sun is constantly creating hydrogen and helium.
Yeah.
But when a star goes supernova, it starts to create every other element. And then when it explodes, all the elements get scattered.
It's really cool.
And that's what makes up you and me. So, we are made of dead stars.
Hell yeah. I'm down for that.
It's kind of crazy though. It's like,
it is. It's like, it's absolutely mind-boggling.
yeah, like the atoms that built me could be from, like, this, my right hand could be from the furthest point in the galaxy that way, and then my left hand could be from the furthest point in the galaxy in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's one of those things, it's like your brain just starts, like,
Yeah.
your brain, you can understand it when someone says it to you, but you actually can't understand it.
No, yeah, you cannot comprehend it. It's like when people say the universe is infinite, you're like, well, that's really big. But there's no way you can comprehend how big that is, because it's bigger than what you think.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you think, it's bigger, because it's never ending.
Yeah, like, so, you know, you can create whatever metric distance, and it will always be
bigger.
More.
Yeah.
Because, and also it's ever expand. It's infinite, but ever expanding.
Yeah, which does not make any sense.
I think it's it's like things are getting further away.
Yeah, so
from
it
each
must
other.
be, no, that's what it is, because that's how, like, they thought that was, they think it's infinite. But then they realized that, like, measuring, like, distances from different things are getting further away, so clearly it must be expanding.
Well, it's like one day we will be far enough away from the sun for this Earth not to be habitable.
Yeah.
One day. We'll probably all kill
That's
each other
where
before
Venus
then.
should be. Then we just hop over to actually, no, because Venus will still be fucked by then.
No, it'll be Mars, because Mars is closer to the sun, so when Mars
is further away from the sun, darling.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
Yes, it is. I think it's because it's red, made me think this.
Yeah. No, because that's the planet we're thinking of going to.
But yeah, actually that's stupid.
It is stupid, because we'll be further and further away.
Yeah, they they were like, oh, we've proved that there was once life on Mars or whatever.
But then the sun's also getting bigger, so I'm pretty sure.
Yes, the sun will get bigger,
and then it'll
supernova.
Yeah, because it's like, it gets bigger, then it implodes, and it explodes.
I think they did like they worked out how long they think the sun has, and it's like
not that long.
It's like 4,000 years, is it? Or it's maybe more than that.
A little bit more than that, like maybe 4,000 million. But like,
no, it's not that many.
No,
it's not like it's definitely 1,000. I don't think it's 1 million. Like, it could be 100,000, but I don't think it's as much as 1 million. Polina's about to Google how long. But yeah, it's like the sort of, like, amount of time that is actually like, oh, like, that's comprehensible.
Have left. Yes, that's exactly. No, 5 billion years.
Never mind.
Yeah. The sun eventually burn out. The sun has used up about half of its hydrogen fuel in the last 4.6 billion years since its birth.
So it's probably got about another.
Yeah. Since like halfway.
Whoa. We're halfway there. Whoa. Living on a prayer. Mm-hmm. That's Polina telling me to stop singing.
No, that wasn't.
But yeah. Oh my god, we're basically at this point where we need to do the news now.
We are.
Polina, would you like to do the honours?
Well, I read the headlines today, so
Did you?
I completely forgot. Well, I read it with you. That was the top news story.
Oh wait, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay, well,
we'll just go in. Oh no! There's another one.
Oh, okay.
News. We didn't do our little jingle.
What was our jingle?
I don't even know. News. That's what we just. News time, guys.
It's the time for news.
Yes, it is. And it's Brexit, so guess who's gonna get really fucking
angry?
Oh
no. The answer is both of us.
Yes. EU and Ireland issue Irish border Brexit warning to Theresa May. There isn't much time left. Irish and EU leaders warned Theresa May that time is running out to solve the Irish border. Quote, "Let me be blunt. There isn't much time left."
That's an Irish Gaelic word?
Yeah, I'm not...
Or Gaelic. I believe Gaelic is Irish and Gaelic is Scottish.
Yeah. So I'm not going to attempt to say that name because I will butcher it. He was backed up by the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, I think it is. Juncker, yeah. Who said, Ireland is not alone. It is backed by 26 member states. Ireland has to be part of the deal.
Okay, so...
Right!
But the thing is, it's
Okay,
because there's Northern Ireland.
Yes.
That's where the problem...
Why I didn't... Yeah. I stopped myself getting super angry because I was about to be like, wait, like, how does they get to leave and we don't? But it's fine, they don't either.
Yeah. So, yeah, Northern Ireland, it'll be that. But I don't understand why there would be a debate over the border, because I'm pretty sure, like, Northern Ireland...
Yeah.
And truly it must already exist because of... Yeah, when Ireland separated from the Union, surely there must have been a discussion over border, like, if we're talking about, like, sea as well.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they have to discuss this again.
There's, like...
It's not been that long since since Ireland became independent, so...
Wait,
or is it maybe more to do with, like, the legality of the border rather than actually where the border is?
So no, like, I don't think it'll be the place of the border.
It'll be because, you know, if you're in Northern Ireland, you're not part of the EU, but then Ireland is literally right there.
Yeah.
Like, you literally could accidentally step across the border. But then, if it's not part of the EU and you've not got freedom of movement, then technically you're breaking the law by accidentally stepping across the border.
Brexit talks are currently at an impasse over the backstop, the fallback arrangement, if negotiations over a future trade deal between Britain and EU fail to solve the Irish border question. So, are they trying to say, like, that Ireland... Wait, is Ireland in the EU?
Yeah.
That's a really stupid question, but, like, I just...
Yeah, because they use euros.
Yeah. So I think what they're trying to say is that until they... Because, like, trading is still fucked. Like, they have not reached an agreement, like, Britain and EU have not arranged an agreement about trading. So since they're so close,
they're technically Britain and the EU in like a micro system, I guess.
Yeah, so they won't be able to trade, but Northern Ireland is so tiny.
And it's Northern Ireland and Ireland are on the same landmass.
Yeah. So I think that's the issue.
Do you know what? I think I'm really surprised that Northern Ireland is still part of the UK.
Yeah. I'm surprised we're still part of the UK. I'm so sorry I voted no in the first referendum. I'm so sorry.
You're apologising directly to me and I'm appreciating it. But, like...
Well, because the only reason I voted that was to stay in the EU.
It actually makes me really angry at the EU because none of this would be happening. Full stop. Because if they hadn't been so, like, wishy-washy on whether they would accept Scotland off the bat. And I understand it a little bit of, like, other countries have to go through so many loopholes to get, or not loopholes, they have to jump through so many hoops.
Yeah.
It takes time to become part of the EU.
It does, yeah.
Therefore, like, just giving Scotland a free pass when technically Scotland was never part of the EU in the first place. It was the UK. Scotland was, you know, like...
But see, at the same time, like, yeah, it was the UK, but that consists of Northern Ireland, Scotland, England, and...
but we would be a separate entity at that point.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand why some people, like, especially, like, think about it, if you were, I don't know, Romania joined really recently.
Yeah, no.
Romania, like, I could see having an issue with it. It's like, it took so long for us to join, and you're just going to let them just join.
Yeah.
But they were weak, because they were so, like, oh, we don't know, we can't say at this time, we'd have to wait until after. Like, people like you were like, well, that's too much of a risk, I don't want to. Yeah. But if they'd been like, no, Scotland would be part of the EU if it left the UK.
I'd be like, yeah, fucking, let's go.
And then if Scotland had left, England would be in a really unstable state. Because I don't know, so I don't know how aware the rest of the world is. I mean, I imagine a little bit more since the referendum happened, because there was a lot of talk about it in news, and I'm assuming all over the world there was a bit of a talk about it, because it doesn't happen that often that country splits. But Scotland, for every, like, pound Scotland gives to England, they don't get a full pound back. But then on the flip side, Scotland gets more pounds per head than England does. And that causes people to, like, especially the English, to think that Scotland's actually getting a benefit out of being part of the UK. Of, like, you're getting, you know, if England are getting a pound per head, or, like, for every pound per head the English get, we get, like, £1.50 or something.
Because there's so many of them. But it's, like, I know that's not exactly how it works, but, like...
Yeah, but it's also, like, because we put more money in.
Yeah.
Scotland's got a ridiculously high tourist rate. the Edinburgh Fringe, for example, is the largest arts festival in the world.
Yeah.
That brings in so many people. And Scotland... Do you know there was a point where Scotland was exporting as more than Japan?
That's amazing.
And Japan is like...
Yeah.
You know, technology center.
Yeah.
That's so, insane. Yeah, Scotland's in a really good place. And okay, not as great as we were because oil.
Well, yeah.
But, you know, yeah, we're in a really good place financially.
It's
overall.
like, did you see, like, the split? You must, like, I'm pretty sure that was the TV at the Stag and the Black Oil.
Oh, where they moved the coastline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to go up. And you're like,
thing that happened
no.
in 1999 for the turn of the millennia, and I don't know why there was this deadline to do it, but anyway, in, like, some closed off room where, where, like, they told everyone they did it, but they didn't shout about it. So, like, it was one of those things where, like, because there's a lot of other things going on, they managed to sneak it under. Yeah. Like, oh, we still told you, but it's like, but it's at the end of this massive list of everything else we did. And it's in fine print. So, the Scottish border is at an angle, and originally what happened was at the highest point on the east coast, it just went then straight out. Straight east was where the border went. So that any point from the east coast, if you were to walk out into the sea, like, you would be in Scottish water. They moved the coastline, was it something like 200 miles north?
Yeah, it was, like, ridiculous.
So that if you were to walk from Dundee, which is kind of like a third of the way up Scotland.
Yeah.
If you were to walk out from Dundee straight east into the water, you would end up in English Sea. Yeah. And that got moved to include in English water 3 more oil fields. Yeah. And that's the only reason they did it.
That is the only reason. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and England would be in a much more, financially unstable situation and would not have left the EU.
Oh, yeah. They would be so fucked if Scotland left.
Like, because the reason that the referendum happened, the Brexit referendum happened,
I can't believe
was because there was a kind of, like, influx of voters who decided that, after the recession, people are in a really difficult situation. Like, there was this thing that came out and showed that, of, like, northwest Europe, the richest city, London, or I don't know if it is it is, London is the richest city. And so it was showing the 10 richest and the 10 poorest. And of the 10 poorest, 1 was in France, the other 9 were in England. England is not, like, overall, England is not in a good place.
No, it's really not.
And a lot of those people who are in these really awful situations and there's not a lot of money going around, they're looking for something really easy to blame. Yeah. And the media has provided that with immigration.
Oh yes, we are Satan. We steal all your jobs and we suck, so get us back to our country.
So yeah, there's that.
It's really funny.
So, because of that, and then this party, UKIP, came out and were like, hey, we're gonna get rid of all the immigrants because immigrants are scum. Yeah. And we're gonna just spew a bunch of, like, false facts at you that no one's gonna bother to fact check because I'm a man in a suit telling you. Yeah. And then we're also gonna say that we should leave the EU because that's where all these scum are coming from.
Yeah, but the thing is, I am 110% behind that theory that, like, all of, like, the leaving the EU was just, like, a threat. They thought that wasn't going to go through.
Well, UKIP did.
Well, UKIP did, but they're a bunch of fucking psychos, and everyone knows it. Like, even if you agree with them, you know that they're batshit crazy, and they don't have things in order. Like, they don't have shit planned. They just say things. Like, at least Hitler had a plan.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm sorry, fucking Hitler.
I mean, you're Polish, I suppose.
I am,
so anyone's okay
yeah, exactly.
To say it.
Fuck you guys. I've went to visit Auschwitz. I have the right to say things like that. I don't. I'm sorry. Anyway. Like, they, like, definitely David Cameron and Theresa May had no idea that it was going to go through.
The reason that they even suggested it was because they were... So conservatives are also on the right-wing side of things. And they were losing a lot of voters to UKIP. And then they were like, we're not going to win this general election. Yeah. So we're like, hey, if you're just going to go vote for UKIP because you want to leave the EU, we'll hold the referendum as well. Yeah.
Like, just fucking let's all get on board in this.
That they would get just enough voters to win.
Yeah.
And then they could hold it, but nobody, most people wouldn't want to vote to leave.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't happen, and then they get all their voters, and they held up their end of the deal of, we'll hold the referendum, but then it won't actually happen, and it's a win-win situation for them.
Yeah.
Except it did happen.
I think that is a moment, like, this is gonna be super dramatic, but, like, I'm being very serious, like, that I will remember for the rest of my life, the moment I found out that Brexit is actually happening, because I was in my bed, and I just woke up, and I hear my mum from my other room, and, like, the voting, and I was so unbothered by it, by the way. I knew, or I thought I knew, we weren't going to leave the EU.
Yeah.
Because of how, just of the whole, like, how ridiculous of an idea that really is, with no plan in place. Because it wasn't. It was wishy-washy talk.
Yeah.
And very obscure. And, like, and I just sat there, and I just hear my mom, like, saying my name. I was like, yeah, and she was like, the UK left. And I was like, I just laughed. I was like, oh, you're funny. And she was like, no, I'm not joking. I was like, Mom, okay, it's not funny. And she's like, just look at the news. Open my phone. That was blowing up my newsfeed, and I was like, great.
Yeah. It's like, so the majority of the major elections that I voted in, I voted, since I've been old enough to vote, I voted in, the independence referendum, I voted in Brexit, and I voted in, I believe, 2 general elections. Every single time that I have voted, I've woken up the next morning to discover that what I wanted, what I believed in, what I thought, like, a sane person would believe in, was not what got voted in. Conservatives twice. Which, do you know what, right? Without going on a rant.
I mean, we're already going on this rant. Like, this is gonna be over now, we're not even fucking sorry about it. This needs to get talked about.
Without going on a rant. The Conservatives have managed to convince a lot of working class people that they're for them. And they're not. The Conservatives are not a working class party. They're a party for the rich, and they're a party for business. And they're a party that believes about financial security for a country. Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And you maybe seen some merit in that. Especially after an economic crash. But I can tell you right now that what they don't give a shit about is you as an individual.
Oh, yeah. Not a single fuck. I mean, the amount of cuts that they've done,
and they're purposely driving the NHS to a point where it can't function so that they can privatize it.
Yes. Okay, no, that is one of the best things about this whole fucking country. Like, I cannot explain to you how thankful I and every other person that is not from here is for the NHS, and how thankful every fucker that lives here should be for the NHS. Because, like, it was, like, only here, Canada, and, like, Switzerland
that have free healthcare.
That have free healthcare. Which is, one, fucking insane to me, because that seems like...
Yeah, other places, they don't have, like, everything's paid for, they have some subsidized, but, like...
Some. And it's, like, scum. I can say that because I'm Polish. Like, it's so fucking bad. Like, my mom, she's ill, and... Like, here, she was getting brilliant healthcare, and, like, yeah, sometimes it took a while, but it's nothing compared to what's happening in Poland. My mom just stopped bothering going to the doctor, because what you have to do is wake up at stupid o'clock in the morning, go, like, to the hospital, like, before it even opens, so you can wait there. Oh, like, wait, take a number, and just wait until the doctor sees you. Now, there's, well, probably not hundreds, but there is so many people that go in on a regular basis. Some don't get seen. Because, you know, and, like, the doctors don't give a shit, really, about you, because that's, like, the free health, like, care they can provide.
They do shift sort of thing, and, like...
Exactly.
But they get paid.
They get paid, like, basically nothing, or, like, they don't get paid. So they don't give a shit about you, they care about their private patients. Which is insane. And, like, it just bothers me so much.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing to the NHS.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think people kind of don't realise how bad that could be. You know, if you've ever looked at a medical bill from the US, where...
It's insane.
So, okay, you know, there was the bombing at Manchester, and lots of people died and lots of people got really injured.
Yeah.
There was a school shooting in America, and the parents of the dead children got billed for the fact that they got taken to hospital, or the paramedics tried to save them, or whatever. Like, your child has just been shot.
And you have to go pay for the fact
And you don't, and not even like, here's a tenner, like £10 bill for our time. It's thousands.
Yeah.
Like, so not only is your child dead, you now owe a doctor or like a hospital thousands of pounds.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I just can't believe that's actually happening. Like, you know, like when you see, and the thing is, what like frustrates me as well, is just, please, if you are of voting age, get interested in what the fuck is happening around you.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people that I talk to, and I, for example, because I do not have, like, I am a legal immigrant, don't fucking come up my neck, listen to me. I'm here legally and all that jazz, but I am not a citizen of the UK, or like I don't have a citizenship.
Yeah.
With the
You're
UK.
a resident, not a citizen.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I had no idea. I could vote in the referendum for like independence, and I can vote for our general, like the area representatives.
Yeah.
I went to go vote in the general election because that's where all the actual change happens, right? Not allowed. Because I don't have citizenship now. And the fact, like, that really angered me. But obviously, I couldn't direct the anger to anger.
Yeah.
So, then to hear, like, that some of my friends just didn't. Like, it's really irritating because I care more, or it seems that I care more about this country than they do.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is your future you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what bothers me most is people who don't vote and then fucking complain about how it's, like, how the government is run. You have no right to fucking complain because you didn't make an active choice to even, learn about what's happening or to just fucking vote.
My vote, to kind of counteract that,
Yeah.
is I knew someone who voted in the referendum, the Scottish referendum.
Yeah.
And they voted no.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it because they didn't know what to vote.
No, yes, that's wrong. But that's, people are lazy.
People who vote for status quo because they don't know what to vote.
Yeah. That's wrong as well. Like, just, it takes like 5 minutes.
Well, okay, especially when it comes to general elections, because there's millions and millions and millions of quizzes out there. Actually, it was my flatmate.
Yeah.
I remember in first year of college, I remember talking to people. I think it was before the general election,
it
actually.
Was, yeah.
I remember talking to people and being like, hey, if you guys aren't sure what to vote, because a lot of them had just turned 18, so they hadn't voted before. I was like, there's website quizzes all over the place where it'll ask you questions, and you can say, like, whether, so it'll say something like, immigration should be strictly, what's the word? Legislated or whatever. Yeah. You know, they're like, are strictly,
restricted.
Yeah. Strictly restricted.
Strictly restricted.
And it'll say, like, you strongly agree with this, or you strongly disagree, or there's a scale, or you can say, like, it's not important to me. And you can click that box. And after you do that whole thing, it does take, like, 15 minutes, but it takes 15 minutes. It'll turn out, okay, your views mostly agree with this party, and then secondly this party, and then thirdly this party, and here's why, what you agreed on them with. And then you can look, and you can go, oh, okay, well, more of my views agree with the SNP, but the things I care more about more match up with Green, so I will vote Green, which is kind of where I am.
Yeah. I'm Labour than Green.
So I vote...
Well, Lib Dem, Labour, Green.
I vote Green. And more because... But if I was in a... And also because a little bit... I vote Green because I can, because the seat here, Inverness votes very left the majority of the time. There used to be a Lib Dem seat when the Lib Dems still had people's
had like a chat
when people still believed in them until the Lib Dems partied up with the Conservatives and like a left party and a right party. It just no. It was a bad move. But anyway, so it used to be a Lib Dem seat and now it's an SNP seat. But if there was any possibility that Inverness would be a Conservative seat, I would tactically vote, and I would vote for whatever the highest left side party was. If it was if it was not Conservative, if it was Labour, if it was Lib Dem, if it was SNP, if it was Green, I would vote for whatever was going to potentially beat the Conservatives.
Exactly, because that's why I was going to vote in the election. I was going to vote. Labour was so close. Well, sorry, was. And then I don't know what the fuck happened. I swear to God, Russians.
Labour were worryingly for the Conservatives overtaking. And like Theresa May nearly bombed that for herself. They were on such a lead. It was like 70% to the Conservatives, 30% to the Labour or something like that. And then they just nosedived.
Fucked it. Like, it was insane. Like, it was like the best moment of my life because she just fucked it. Like, well, the whole thing fucked it.
Yeah.
And you just seen like Labour skyrocket, and I was like, oh my god.
They might do it.
Oh my god.
And then they did.
I don't know. Fuck us, right?
Well,
if you ain't rich, you're not worth it.
They did it almost. And then the Conservatives, because the Conservatives didn't have enough seats to win.
Yeah.
And they had to party up with the DNP, which is the something nationalist party from Ireland. And they are against abortions and things like this.
As soon as you say nationalist, you know that's no good.
Yeah. Basically, like, they're like the BNP.
Welcome to Poland.
Or BTW. Yeah. They're to the point that some conservative voters don't like them because they're too far right, which says a lot.
That's like, it's like Trump level.
It's like Trump not agreeing with them because they're too anti-immigration. Like, that's what it's like.
That's the kind of extreme we're at. Anyway, we should probably end this.
Yes.
Because we could talk about this for hours.
I feel like this declares itself we should create a whole other episode dedicated
to politics. That could cause a lot of shit.
I feel like we'll have to wait until it is appropriate.
Yes, and also, please keep in mind, these are all our opinions.
Yes.
Don't take them as fact. Yes. I mean, please listen to them. And take from them what you will. And
like the general, like, rule of thumb of, if you're going to vote in an election, make sure that you
do your research.
Yeah, or like even like the smallest bit of research.
Yeah. Because
at the end of the day, you voting for a party that I disagree with because you agree with them is better than you voting for the party that I agree with.
Yes, completely.
Because that's what you think you should vote for.
Yeah, and that's what democracy is. But then it's like, just fucking do your... Because it's like the amount of people who didn't vote in the US and then Trump won. Ha. Everyone's like, how... That was a day I'll never forget, the fact that Trump actually won that election.
I feel like every time there's an election, it makes me hate the world more.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because, Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, apologies, that was a rant. Oh! 12 minutes over. That's fine.
That's not too bad. I genuinely wouldn't have been surprised to find out we've been doing this for like 2 hours.
2 hours,
I probably could talk about politics for 2 hours.
I could talk about politics for 2 hours.
But, I have a question.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And my question is, what is your favourite obscure or random or weird science fact?
You know, I just sighed. I love how we have that question at the end. Because we usually, with the news section, we usually always rant, or it just goes to a darker place. And then we have something like that.
Yes.
It makes me happy.
Yes. Gotta end on a light note, guys.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The end.